to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Next item, please.
Madam President?
Yes.
Yes, I'll take this opportunity here. I said something at the last meeting, not my proudest moment, and I want to apologize to you, my colleagues, Superintendent Maleko, all the parents, most important, the students that heard my remark. I am very sorry that that happened. I'm a good man, and more important, Abe Mashur, Director of Student Services, is a good man. I did reach out to Mr. Mashur and had a conversation with him. The comments that I made that was picked up by the mic, some media outlet put it out there, and I learned the term looping, and they fast forwarded, and it sounded like I referred to Director Mashur as a jerk. I called him, just wanted to make sure that he understood that's something I would never do. Most people that know me know I would never call anybody a name. And the word that I used was joke, and I was not referring to Director Mashur. Director Mashur does a lot of great work for our district. We probably don't agree all the time on things, but who does, right? So I do apologize for that, and I made sure he understood, and I told him, you don't need to comment, just hear me out here. I was referring to the situation that happened, which I'll get to later on in this meeting, as a joke. And we don't want to get into that now, but made sure he accepted my apology, and like I said, he does good stuff for us. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to say that.
Yeah, things have been very difficult for everyone the last several years, so I just want to just implore that everybody show a little grace.
Yeah.
We're all human. We make mistakes. We get caught up in the moment. So I think it's important that we treat each other with respect and civility, and when necessary, show each other grace. Next item, please.
Superintendent's update.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to start with our normal on agenda items for retirements. And we do have 3, so I want to congratulate the retirees and thank them for the years of service. We have Rhonda Abu Koder, over 25 years of service. Ronnie Bienting, 25 years of service. And Philip Mahar, over 24 years of service. If we could show recognition now, we appreciate their hard work. And I'll move right along. One item is getting pulled till likely next month that talked about Chief Haddad. He wasn't able to make it tonight. But I will now move to, we had 2 administrators approved at the last meeting and they weren't able to be there. But I would first like to call up Lamise Sewer, the new Executive Director of Student Achievement, to come up. If we could show her live our applause. We're excited to have her on the team, and we know that she'll do some great work on the executive cabinet.
Good evening.
I want to take a few minutes to thank you for the opportunity to serve as the executive director for the Etzel Ford Feeder. This position has been a long-term goal of mine as I am able to serve this community in all ways needed. My ultimate goals will be to support intrinsic and physical safety, equity for all students, and increased student achievement. I want to thank Dr. Maleko for his ongoing support and my professional growth. I would also like to thank a few people that I feel I need to mention. I believe strongly in daily reflection and gratitude, and when milestones are reached, it's especially important to acknowledge that a person's growth is dependent on the people around them. Please allow me a couple minutes to do so. First, every staff member I've ever worked with, I have learned from. Also, my entire family for their support in all ways, my entire life. 3 people I would like to personally thank. My first and most important professional mentor, Andrea Awada, who gave me countless opportunities to grow, make mistakes, learn from them, and keep going. I learned from Andrea the importance of a clear vision, how important a positive school culture for students and staff is, and how to make a school a home. Secondly, my dad and my mom, who taught me what it means to be a good person, that being fair and being content will help you sleep better at night and have integrity as a personal descriptor. Finally, my husband, Wissam, who without his support and his belief in me, the path here wouldn't have been as enjoyable. I hope to make them proud. To conclude, I want to congratulate Dr. Chokol on a well-earned retirement. As I have told her, I cannot try to be like her. I can only be me while maintaining the high standard of excellence she has set. Thank you.
I just have to mention too, Ms. Awada was the assistant principal when I got hired at Soliant, and she did my evaluation my first 2 years as an employee in Dearborn Schools. So I appreciate the great work she's done, and I can recognize her mentorship of you. I've seen it over the years. And she's done a great job, by the way. The next, I would like to call our new Director of Assessment. I know she's very excited as well. Hilda Rani, if we could recognize her right now, I appreciate that.
President McDonald, trustees, Dr. Maleko, I just want to thank you for this opportunity to serve the district and our staff and our students as the new Director of Assessment. I feel that the 27 years that I've worked for this district, I have learned and grown with so many opportunities, most of which have been under the fearless leadership of my mentor, Ms. Fatmi Faraj, who without, I know I would not be here today. And I'm just grateful for her leadership and support and for the staff around me. And of course, thank you to my family, my husband and my daughters, and my family and friends at home that have supported and really cheered me on. So thank you, and I look forward to working with all of you in the near future.
So I'm going to move along here, and I'm combining a couple. I'm going to have Ms. Faraj come up. She's going to introduce the aspiring administrators, and then she's also going to address a requirement we have with benchmark assessments and some curriculum. Well, so I'll let her come up and take care of those few items.
Good evening, trustees, Dr. Maleko and President McDonald. I'm going to ask the teachers who completed this year's cohort of aspiring administrators to come up here, please, along with the principals who are here to support them. The Aspiring Administrators Program has been running in the district for so many years. I don't recall exactly how many years, but I took over. I co-led the program with Shannon and Jill for the last couple years, and this year I took the lead on it. Under the talent development focus area of the strategic plan, we have one strategy, which is to increase leadership capacity of all employees. These are the exact words of the strategy. As part of our commitment to develop leadership from within Dearborn Public Schools, we have once again offered this cohort this year. We had it interrupted for a couple years due to COVID, but we did join the 2 groups when we called them back this year. Teachers from various buildings had the opportunity to apply for this program to explore various leadership roles in our organization. We had around 30 participants who showed up on a monthly basis. Of the 30, 21 completed the program and received their certificates. The rest still have 2 or more sessions to make up next year when we offer it again. We had monthly interactive sessions presented by district leaders from various departments. We had a principal panel, an assistant principal panel. We had operations directors and executive directors. We had people from the finance department, special ed, EL, HR. I think we had almost every department represented in the program. In addition, a capstone project was completed by each one of those wonderful leaders from wherever they're leading, where they completed a leadership role in their building. And then they presented it to a panel here in central office. Also, they went through a shadowing experience where they went and visited a building other than where they are and spent half a day with a principal or assistant principal to experience what admin experience would look and feel like. I think, and we all believe that this program is an important component of preparation for an administrative position in Dearborn Public Schools. That's why when we do interviews, we have great candidates always, from outside and inside, but really, the ones who are inside, they always top the list because of the experiences that they go through. Congratulations to all of you. They did receive a certificate signed by Dr. Maleko and all the executive cabinets. And now I'm going to invite one of the participants to say a few words based on the experience. Shelley?
Good evening. Thank you very much. My name is Shelley Eifert, and I teach at Smith Middle School. I was honored to join the Dearborn Public Schools in 2019, January of 2019, in my 24th year of teaching. So it's been an awesome transition. I love where I'm at, and this program was the next step. And just being with all of these teachers that are leaders in their buildings was such an amazing experience. Ms. Farage and Dr. Chokol and Mr. Martin made every experience well worth the extra hour and a half that we came a month and sat and we learned from each other and we all grew. It was just incredible. And so with that, our goal now is to see where our future will be in Dearborn Public Schools with the help and the mentorship that we've been offered. So thank you very much to everybody, and have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? Trustee Moser?
Ms. Farage, thank you so much. I think this program just.
Before you sit down, I think we would like to get a photograph with everyone, so don't go
Yeah.
too far.
I think this is a testament that Dearborn breeds winners and we breed talent. And I'm glad that this program is resumed because we do have a lot of employees who have higher aspirations of moving from a teacher or even starting as a substitute or any position to move up, and that we have this amazing investment in talent, and we make sure that we provide those to our employees. So you're not just here as a full-time teacher or full-time employee, but you actually have a career aspirations to move up the ladder, so to speak. So I have a question for you right now. So what happens when do they go back and resume their normal teaching position, and then they wait and they start applying for positions to be an administrator when these open up?
They continue with their current positions, which are the positions maybe coaches or classroom teachers. While they were completing this program, they remained in their positions.
Okay.
But for that half day, they shadowed a
half day.
principal, and all of our meetings took place after school. The capstone is something that they do. They take time on their own and they lead. For example, many of them did SEL in their buildings. And the leadership, the capstone, which is the leadership experience, must include other staff members and either other grades or other classrooms. So they were not only serving their students, they took the leadership and included a team. Sometimes it could be the entire building with that capstone project, or it could be a grade level or 5 teachers, for example, depending on the level. But they all demonstrated leadership, and we know that the project they've presented are sustainable projects that we felt from the presentations that these are to be implemented the following
So
year
they're
as
sort of
well.
like research-based project that they
Right.
study and they do kind of a case
Cor-
study kind of thing.
Correct. Sometimes it could be data analysis where they took all the WIDA scores and they analyzed with their staff in a staff meeting, and then they follow through with interventions. So we let them be creative on the capstone project, but we've been very impressed with every single project that they've presented. And we encourage them also to apply when administrative positions come up, and we see many of them. So that's one of the leadership opportunities, which also we were highlighted for when we had the Cognia, formerly Advanced Ed Review. One of the comments we heard that you do provide a lot of leadership opportunities for the teachers because they don't remain in the classroom. They do go through many leadership experiences. This is one of them.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you very much. If you'd stick around, the board, anyone would like to join them for a photo? I think I'm going to stay here just because I'm slow, so.
I don't remember if I thanked Mr. Martin, Ms. Ali Bazzi, and Dr. Chokol because we co-led the program together.
Absolutely. Congratulations to everyone.
Battery's out.
I can take a selfie, though.
Going smoothly.
There you go.
Congratulations, everyone.
And if I could just mention, I want to thank Ms. Faraj and the executive directors for leading it. And I remember, what was it, a couple weeks ago, you were in interviews all week where they were presenting their final projects in the conference room. And I heard some of that, so. And I'll let you go on to the next items.
Okay, so the next item has to do with curriculum and also with the legislation, which is called PA 48. We presented that in February, and we are required to present it again during the last board meeting in June. I will start with PA 48, which is Public Act 48. It's the benchmark assessment, which is used to set goals for all buildings in the district. It is required to administer the benchmark assessment a minimum of 2 times a year, once in September and once in the last 6 weeks of school. That was K through 8, and the goals were needed, or they needed to be set by building around student growth for the year. Our schools set stretch goals, which is they went over and beyond. They wanted to challenge themselves. K through 8 used NWA growth data, and high schools used grades set in core areas, which is math, language arts, science, and social studies. Accountability was tied directly to funding, not to the amount of growth. So the law does not state you have to make this much growth, but you have to administer the assessment in order to receive funding. We wanted to encourage buildings to set stretch goals, which are hard to attain due to the gap created by COVID. For math, 56% of Dearborn students met their projected growth compared to 50% the national norm. For reading, 52 of Dearborn students met their projected growth compared to 50% the national norm. Overall, the vast majority of K through 8 students showed some growth from fall to spring in NWEA in both reading and math. Our high schools had 94% passing rates, which is comparable to pre-COVID passing rates. When we set goals with principals in this room in September, high school principals said we want to set the goal 100%. We let them set it to 100% of students passing in the core areas, which is okay. This is a stretch goal, but 94% of them had passing rates. The results can be found on our budget transparency page, because also that's a requirement that we do post spring and fall results on the transparency page. The link to that is dearbornschools.org /forward budget transparency /forward. If you go to the fifth folder down, you will find those goals in the spring and in the fall. That's about the goals. That was a requirement that we presented and also posted. Moving on to the curriculum topic, in light of the recent comments, meetings, and other advocacy voices that we've been hearing about or watching in Dearborn and other districts and at the state board meeting last week, we wanted to provide a few district updates regarding curriculum. The district has a continuous curriculum review process. Just like we have a continuous improvement process, the curriculum process does not end. There's no start and end time to it. It's always continuous. Along with administrative guidelines for selecting, piloting, and adopting curriculum resources. We're very thankful to this board, to Dr. Maleko, for approving several curriculum resources for the past few years. We still have a few to go, but we're always going through it in a continuous process. Guidelines are reviewed every 5 years, and parents are included. This will be updated to include parents and community members earlier in the process. What we do typically, and this started about 3 years ago, we use an entity called Ed Reports, which vets curriculum resources for alignment and for accessibility and other areas. And then once we vet them through Ed Report, we don't vet them, Ed Reports vets them, and we select the ones that are scoring green across the board. So we take the top 2, and we have teachers from the entire district examine these resources, and that's how we started our pilot process. What we felt for the last few weeks is we do invite parents in the current process after we select those resources that scored in the green areas. We invite parents and they look at the resources. We invite them on social media, on blogs, and we make sure that we send a form as well. And they come and they look at the resources. I think for the last couple years, we've been having either the boardroom or the Stout Imad Fadlallah board room, and they would go in there. I know we don't have high participation, but it's publicized when we want them to come. There has been a lot of resource adoption for the past 5 years, as I mentioned, but curriculum adoption is not complete yet in our district. Resources will always be evaluated by the district staff and representatives from the community. The current health and human development curriculum resources are linked on the district website. A curriculum review of the health and human development curriculum will take place in the early fall. This specific curriculum is taught in 5th, 7th, and 9th grade, and this is the one that's always the most controversial. A committee of parents, community members, teachers, and administrators will review curriculum options and make recommendations for implementation for next year, 22-23. An invitation to join the committee will be posted through the district in early July next month, and the first meeting will be in early September. Dr. Groovel will be sending out these invitations. Review and adoption process is posted on the district website and includes full transparency on how and who is involved. This process was initiated 3 years ago and continues to be updated based on feedback from all of our stakeholders, including teachers. We are very happy to see common resources in elementary, in the science, math, and language arts, in middle school, language arts, science, and math as well, high school math, and we are continuing with the process.
Yes.
I just want to add too that, and I know you've had some meetings, that we know that we need to get more parents involved, and we know that's very important.
Right.
And that's going to be something that we're going to do, and I know, Ms. Fraj, you've talked to me about that. And
Correct.
So
This
parents
is
that have
the
reached
email
out,
that's-
we're hearing their concerns.
Right, this is the email that's going out next week, It's going to be a survey similar with what Mr. Mustonen sent out for the bond, where people can sign up and be on the committee from the community.
Trustee Barry?
I know we're saying that we're gonna get parents and community members involved, but I want to personally take the time to thank the parents who brought this to our attention a couple weeks ago. I do have a problem with our quick response right after that meeting. There was some things put on our website questioning the motives of the parents and just saying that does not exist on our website, which later on we retracted. Unfortunately, in today's world, when things make it to online, through screenshots and other ways to save information, it can come back to bite us. Again, I'm thankful to the parents who brought this attention. And Mrs. Farage, when you sent us that email, that video of the Michigan State Board of Education, I know you put a disclaimer. I don't know if you sent it or HR, somebody sent it. There was a disclaimer out there saying, be careful opening this up. And I thought to myself, it's a Michigan State Board of Education meeting. How bad could it be? Started playing it. Tried to turn it off real fast, dropped my phone. So embarrassing. That was nasty.
Yeah.
That was terrible. That actually stuff like that exists in other district. Now I know, and I'm thankful for including some of the parents and some of the community members, and we're going to expand on. I know, so I'm thankful for that. But let's listen to parents. Let's not. And I'm not saying that you. I'm just saying in general. Let's listen to parents. Let's not right away go into attack mode. Let's do our due diligence before we put a statement out there. Thank you.
Anyone else? Nope.
Then I'll move along
Continue.
on my commentary. I have a few more items. COVID numbers have maintained or gone down a little. So, we continue to deal with that, and that's a positive. We do have on the agenda for today, it was a successful end to the school year. We know we've had 2 tough years, to be honest. We've all stuck together, and I want to thank the board. I want to thank the community. I want to thank the parents. I want to thank our great staff, including our teachers, administrators, support staff. And of course, I want to thank the students. And then I want to congratulate all those that are going on to new grades, those that are being promoted to new school. And of course, we had some outstanding graduation ceremonies. So if we could right now just recognize all of those who are moving on, because that is my favorite time of the school year. My second favorite is the first day of school, but my favorite is the graduations and the end of the year. So if we could do that, I'd appreciate that. And I have a couple other things I want to mention. The last one is another positive before I'm going to make a statement. Ms. Ali Bazzi led a grant, writing a grant from the state. We haven't given notification yet, but I believe it was approximately $82,000 to $83,000 that we received in writing this grant that will go back to our teachers to take care of costs that they had for their schooling and other things for their certificates. So we'll continue to look at those, and I think that's a positive. So more to come on that front. And I just have one statement here that I want to read before we move on. And, we've had, it's somewhat of a response from last time, but I thought it was fitting here because, to have it in my commentary. And just mentioning that the Dearborn Schools is committed to creating a safe, inclusive, and culturally responsive school environment for all students and staff. Any claims of inappropriate behavior, intimidation, or actions taken against a staff or student based on race, religion, culture, sex, or other protected class are investigated as described in board policy. And I want to mention that we did put something similar out on our communications. All investigations are conducted by the Human Resources Department in a thorough manner in alignment with board policy, state and federal law, and in coordination with the district's legal counsel. In addition, when an investigation takes place, witness statements, video recording, and firsthand reports are some of the acceptable forms of evidence that can be used to make a determination. Hearsay and secondhand information may be considered, but really provides limited usefulness during an investigation and cannot be stated as a matter of fact. When conflicting statements have been made or statements that question credibility, those factors must be weighed in the final decision when due process of the law and disciplinary action is implemented by the district. I also want to mention this, and I have been in contact with another trainer, and I think this is a positive step that we have taken, but I think we need to take more action in the district. and this is to dealing with training. So in the district, we have historically been proactive in training staff and administrators on cultural sensitivity, macro and microaggression, implicit and explicit bias, and diversity. As mentioned, we're going to continue with those efforts in the upcoming school year and beyond as we continually to grow and expand our knowledge base. And again, I'm in communication with a consultant personally right now, and I know Mr. Masaley is involved. As we have done in the past, information on those efforts, we will put them out on the public through traditional forms of communication, including but not limited to presentations at board meetings potentially, which we did have at one point here a while back, our district website and/or other scheduled meetings. Each day, we welcome more than 20,000 students into our classrooms, 2,700 staff members in our buildings, and countless visitors across the district, ensuring that all students, parents, and staff feel safe in our buildings and are treated with respect and acceptance is and will always be the #1 priority. Thank you.
Trustee Barry?
You done?
Yes, yes.
Between June 2nd, the Thursday, and June 6th, our last board meeting, we received multiple emails on a situation with a basketball coach at Ford High School. There was a statement made at the last meeting. There was some information out on social media way before the meeting started that I wasn't even aware of until later on. I talked about it with at least one of my colleagues that night. So at this point, I'm hoping my colleagues support me on this. I would like for us to conduct an external investigation. So at this point, I'm putting a motion on the table to go out and hire an outside vendor to do an investigation of the recent basketball coach at Ford High School. That is a motion.
Can I just ask for clarification?
I
Or
guess,
point of
yeah.
information to the motion? Because it doesn't, do you want the investigation to be about the social media?
No, we
or about the-
received,
About the actual incident of what occurred
the incident
with
from
the
start to
basketball
finish.
coach?
We received an email from one of the coaches. Then we received multiple emails from administrators over the weekend. Then
So what will
another-
be investigated? That's
Yes,
what I'm trying.
between June 2nd, Thursday, through June 6th, when we heard the final statement, what happened in between. It's very, I'm very, very concerned on what happened, so.
Okay.
So I did put a motion on the table, hoping I get it supported.
I'd support.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Barry and a support by trustee Thorpe. Further discussion?
One question I would have is you
Yes,
said
sir.
outside legal,
Yes,
but my understanding is the board already has legal with the district, correct? It's separate in some instances, but are you looking for a whole new firm?
yes,
or-
please. A whole new firm.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Do we have any idea about what this might cost? Just curiosity.
We've spent money on investigations before, so
Okay.
this is very, very important.
No, I'm just curious if
So
anyone
I'm
has.
also curious, I have a question for trustee
Sure.
Barry. So, the investigation, this is to uncover any possible misconduct by any staff members, or what are you trying, what's the purpose of the investigation?
My advice would be to go ahead and do the investigation, not discuss any.
Obviously, we
anything. Yeah,
can't discuss
yeah,
any
I
personnel,
don't want to
but
go
I'm
there. I'm very, very concerned. Like I said,
About the process of how
we
things went
received
down?
an email from a
Right.
coach, then we received a few other emails from, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4 administrators. Then about this time, 2 weeks ago, we heard something completely different. I would like to know what new information came up to change the position of the administrators. That's all. There's misconduct, it's not up to me, it's whoever's doing the investigation.
Just an investigation to see what happened during that period of time related to that incident.
And it has to be done by external
I was pretty clear
legal,
on that,
so we
yes.
would have to have a bid for this, or how would this go?
I don't know if Tom Tom's not here.
Dr. Maleko, we did a investigation 2-3 years ago. But I don't recall us ever like approving a budget or anything like that when we did that investigation.
Correct, yeah.
That was initiated by administration with, well, obviously with board approval, but this
Right.
is something that's being initiated here.
Okay.
And the way I understand it, and I checked with one of my veteran colleagues, that this is something that we have to
Yeah.
agree on or vote on or whatever.
Any further discussion? We have a roll call vote.
Trustee Barry?
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio? Trustee Moses?
Yes.
Trustee Petrikov?
I'm still kind of confused by where this is going, but I'll say yes.
Trustee Thorpe?
Yes.
Trustee Watts? Yes. President McDonald?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Recognition, acknowledgements, commendations.
Good evening. Commendations to those who participated in the Dearborn Aspiring Administrators Training Program. The district's strategic plan calls for increasing the leadership capacity of employees, and this program allows participants to interact with different administrators, shadow a building administrator, and complete a capstone project. This year's class included Connie Thompson, Kelly Wishmeyer, Darren Kerr, Shireen Elder, Shelley Eifert, Catherine Morrison, Valerie Cullup, Amanda Toko, Amal Baez, Zahraldin, Muhammad Sabra, Zainab Shami, Saleh Abuzaid, Dima Maru, Sarah Nussdorfer, Amy Meeker, Nora Sharara, Kristen Gigler, Maha Fayyad, and Nina Alush, many of them that were just here. Commendations to the physical education teacher, Dr. Ryan Lazar, for leading the district's part of the Walk and Roll Junior Challenge this year, and to all the PE teachers who assisted with the program. The program has received a grant to expand to include 18 schools next year. Students at each participating building will participate in fall and spring walk and bike to school challenges and winter walking clubs. Walk and Roll Junior is a partnership between the district, University of Michigan Dearborn, Healthy Dearborn Coalition, and Beaumont Health. Commendations to the district staff who assisted with the City of Dearborn CDTV as the city held town hall meetings at all 3 traditional high schools. Commendations especially to Gordon Scannell, but also to Kelly Deere, Greg Viscomi, Robert Doyle, Chris Kennenberg, Sean Williams, David Neiman, Chelsea Jankowiak, and Eric Sigvry for their assistance. I apologize if I said any names wrong. High school. Commendations to the 6 winners of the William Brehm Scholarship. Each year, Mr. Brehm, a Fortson graduate, awards a full ride scholarship to the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. This year's scholarship recipients are Tatiana Blurton, Asma Aidi, Ali Gul, Layla Kassam, Ahmed Sharif, and Mehdi Zaidi. Commendations to the district students on the Dearborn United Figure Skating team for the club's successful season, which included a 12th place finish in the state championships. Edsel freshman Olivia Macklid was named state champion in her freestyle event and runner-up in her dance solo event. Dearborn High freshman Jillian Furlow received a fifth place for her artistic solo event. Other members of the team include Olivia Cornett from Dearborn High and Cadence Gretsch, Lily Lawson, and Emily Bass of Etzel Ford High School. Commendations to Nadine Fayyad, a Dearborn High and DCMST student. Nadine Fayyad was named an outstanding Michigan student by Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Commendations to teachers, Miss Sana Ayub and Miss Iman Nora for organizing Amelia's prom for our special needs community. A special thank you as well to Amity Foundation for its contribution to the event. Middle school. Commendations to the following bands that performed at Cedar Point on June 3rd. STEM Middle School Marching Band under the leadership of Nicole Hattrick. O.L. Smith Middle School Marching Band under the leadership of Griffin Wojowicz. Bryant Middle School Marching Band and Orchestra under the leadership of Matthew Huison. And Woodworth Middle School Orchestra under the leadership of Heather Ellenwood. I'm doing donations too. Should I keep going, or do you have to announce it? Oh, here comes trustee.
Acknowledgement of donations.
Donations. A donation of $1,378 has been offered to Fortson High School by Detroit Furniture to be used for seating in the media center. Thank you for that donation.
Next item.
Oh, next, staff recognition, administrators.
So we have a few administrators here. If you'd like to join me at the podium, that would be great. We have Dr. Josh Tynan, principal of Nowlin, Zaina Tiba, principal of Lindbergh, Andy Dennison, principal of Bryant, and Rima Hassan, principal of Etzel Ford High School. Thank you for joining us during such a busy time. So I'll give you your certificates. I'll have to check the names later. So they're here to represent all of our administrators, our building administrators, and I appreciate them joining us this evening. It's a super, super busy time for our administrators as they're trying to prepare for next year, wrap up the current year, and so I'll just say a few words to honor them. Building administrators got into the education field for teaching and learning and in the best interest of students. On a daily basis, they're faced with making difficult decisions on the spot with rapid consideration of how their decisions impact all the students in their buildings, teachers and other staff, and the parents in their community. They navigate several time-consuming components of education that one could only imagine. Some examples include the fender bender that occurred in the student parking lot, keeping the bathrooms orderly throughout the day, developing a schedule that meets the needs of students with limited resources. They field complaints about the drinking fountains being too weak, or the interpersonal challenges that surface in any people-oriented industry service organization. They have difficult conversations with all stakeholders and are often the messengers of responses that are out of their control. The administrators in Dearborn Public Schools face this adversity with grace, heart, expertise, and empathy, while ensuring all the amazing achievements that occur in the classroom, the lunchroom, the athletic field, and the main office are celebrated. They are not only the captains of their ship. I wouldn't dare use the flying an airplane analogy. I think we've killed that one. So they are not only the captains of their ship, but they celebrate all those that strive to ensure that students are first and that the culture and the climate of their buildings thrive. Through COVID shutdown, they successfully led their teams through the most trying times and then came back to in-person instruction and kept their ships afloat during the greatest teacher shortage throughout the nation. Their relationships with their staff, their students, and their parents is the fuel that keeps the sails blowing afloat. This is an opportunity to give a gigantic thank you to our administrators and say, we see you, we celebrate you with every ounce of gratitude. Thank you. If you guys just want to introduce yourselves, that would be great.
Andy Dennison, principal at Bryant Middle School.
Rima Hassan, principal at Etzel Ford High School. Zaina Tiba, principal at Lindbergh Elementary.
Joshua Tynan, principal of Nowlin Elementary.
Don't go anywhere. We'd like to have a picture. Any board members that would like to take pictures with the administration?
Do you guys want to go by President McDonald since she's not able to navigate over here?
I can stand up, but it takes me a while to walk anywhere, so. Thank you guys for accommodating me. Good to see you.
Oh, how should I stand? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you.
Next item, please.
Staff appreciation drawing.
So the drawing, our 10 winners for this week, or for this month, sorry, include, and I have not notified them yet, so they'll get the email after we say their names right now. Courtney Berg, who's a teacher at Dearborn High. Nicole Bush, Henry Ford, writing coach. Katie Werner, a GSRP teacher at Henry Ford Elementary. Margaret Medlin, the occupational therapist at McDonald, Hague, and Howard. And ironically, I just had some interactions personally with Margaret, and I was so wowed by her. And so then when her name came up on the spinning wheel, I was happy to see it. Christine Furchiotti, a teacher at Stout, who I worked with 23 years ago, and was an amazing teacher. Mahmoud Abarous, our principal at Oakman Elementary. Elizabeth Gutierrez, a teacher at Gear Park Elementary. Noral Huda Sharara, she's been here to the board meeting and has spoke before you previously. She's a teacher at Woodworth, an amazing teacher. Iman Ahmed, our fabulous principal at Salina Elementary.
Intermediate.
Oh, I'm sorry, intermediate, thank you. Salina Intermediate. And Cheryl Johnson, she's a grounds employee at Fortson High School. And so I'm gonna read two, I'll go fast, because there was just two really, really good ones and I had trouble picking. So Cheryl Johnson, she does grounds work at Fortson High School. Cheryl is one of the hardest working people in our school district. She is consistently pleasant in her dealings with everyone at Fortson and is the most conscientious person I've ever worked with. Cheryl has taken a job which previously was dominated by men and proven that her work ethic, strength, and ability to get the job done goes well beyond anyone in that role in my 28 years at Fortson. And she does it with a smile on her face while respecting every person she comes into contact with. Cheryl makes a positive difference on a daily basis and deserves recognition. She braves the heat, cold, wind, and snow and makes it look easy. Our field is her second home, and she treats it like it's a palace and has taken ownership of it. I can't say enough in my support of Cheryl Johnson for this recognition, and I'm excited to say Cheryl got the $100 gift card, not the $50 gift card. Congratulations, Cheryl. Thank you. Principal Mahmoud Abarous from Oakman. He had two nominations. He's gone far above his call of duty for his students. He has made coming back to school a celebration. Kids are fighting their parents wanting to come to school, and even when they are sick, that they want to come to school, even when they are sick. He has put the parents' worries at ease. Coming to school to a principal that never lost ties with his students, parents, and staff during COVID, and school being held online made the biggest impact of all. His phone calls, letter to the students in the mail, or stopping by every staff and student's home. Dropping off gifts to cheer everyone up, he has made his Oakman family good emotional, physical, and mental health. I'm very lucky to work for such a great leader. Mr. Mahmoud Abarous is a phenomenal leader, colleague, and friend. He is truly one of a kind. He's always supporting his staff and is a friend to every student in the building. You will rarely find him in his office. He's constantly in the classrooms, engaged with students. On several occasions, you'll find him sitting on the floor with the students and just having a conversation. We are very fortunate to have Mr. Abarous as part of the Oakman community. Thank you, Mr. Abarous.
Madam President?
Yes.
I was, as a private citizen, engaged in a soccer event that happened last month at Fortson High School. And Miss Cheryl was supposed to be the grounds person, but she was out that week. And boy, did we miss, everybody miss her over there, because the engineer would say, Cheryl knows this, Cheryl does this. So that testament is a huge testament to our employees and what they do every day. And everybody missed her that weekend, and I'm sure she's welcome back at Fortson. So thank you to Cheryl and to Mr. Abarous and everybody who was nominated.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Approval of minutes. Approval of minutes of the following Dearborn Board of Education meeting. Finance Committee meeting, June 6, 2022, Board Report 21-134. Regular P12 meeting, June 6, 2022, Board Report 21-135. Recommended action, make any necessary corrections and move approval of these minutes.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion by trustee Thorpe, a support by trustee Barry. Are there any corrections? Hearing none, May I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Barry?
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio? Trustee Moses?
Yes.
Trustee Petrichoff?
Yes.
Trustee Thorpe?
Yes.
Trustee Watts? Yes. President McDonald?
Yes.